Microphone's on.
And these microphones go over here or
So I need to be right here.
do this, Mike Eklund?
I left this morning to get away from my wife, telling me what to do, just for the record. Okay, I guess we're ready to go. It is after 9 o'clock now. I'm calling this Board of Works meeting to order. It's our regular meeting. It's May 20th. It's important that we note that it is starting. It is after 9 o'clock. No more bids will be accepted. Want to just make sure. Is anybody holding a bid in the audience? That's happened to us before. We don't want to get, good. Okay, no more bids will be accepted after this point. With that said, Nancy, let's do roll call.
Absolutely. All 5 members of the Board of Works are with us in the council chambers this morning. Andy Jones. Rose Rivera.
Present.
Mike Macklin.
Present?
Ronnie Davis.
Present.
Jamie Ersey.
Present.
Thank you, Board.
Okay, we have a couple bids that are coming up. So before we approve the agenda, I want to just note, if you'd kindly put your phone on airplane mode or silent mode, I'd appreciate it. The board would appreciate it. Contractors, as soon as the bids are all read, we will take a brief recess in case you want to slide out without causing a disturbance. Having said that, Nancy, or I'm sorry, could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And could I have a motion to amend the agenda to include the Tolson use and event permit?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second to amend. Is that the only amendment? Yes, sir. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Amendment passes. All those in favor of the amended agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Amended agenda is approved. Our first bid is the 2015 bulk chemical for water and wastewater treatment bid, bid number 25-13.
And I have the proof of publication here showing that it was published in the Elkhart Truth on April 26, 2025 and May 3rd, 2025.
Okay, I think our first bid is from GCI Wastewater. Not sure if there was a bid form. They don't have one. They have a sodium hypochloride, weekly, monthly, delivered, oh. Okay, but this has no prices in it. Okay, so sodium hypochloride. Perhaps the thing locked, it says locked for 2025 prices. Perhaps that means same as last year. I'm not real sure. Piled up too many papers on me. Okay, the next bid is from PVS Technologies. They do have a certified bid summary form. All items are checked. Laura, were there a number? Do we need to read them all in, or is there a whole lot of things? Just acknowledge that they did receive a bid. They do have it appears they have the proper paperwork. We'll deal with that. Next bid is from Jeremiah Water Solutions. They also have a signed bid summary form. Wow, good about it. Next one is from Shannon Chemical Corporation. Malvern, PA. They also have the certified bid summary form. Okay, next bid is from it's from Alexander Chemical. They have a certified bid summary, a signed certified bid summary form. Finally, it is from there we go. JCI Jones Chemical, Inc. of Beech Grove, Indiana, and they have a signed certified bid summary form. A motion to sign these to staff to review and report back at their earliest convenience.
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next bid is bid number 2514, Stevens Avenue, Francis Avenue, Second Street reconstruction.
And I also have the affidavit of publication here showing it was published in the Elkhart Truth on April 26th and May 3rd of 2025.
Okay, first bid is from Reach Riley Construction Company Incorporated. They have a certified bid summary form signed by area manager. Their base bid for this project is $1,958,476.54. 1,958,476.54. Next bid is Niblock Excavating, Bristol, Indiana. They have a signed certified bid summary form. Their base bid for this project is $1,849,913.30. 1,849,913.30. Finally, we have a bid from Milestone Contractors. They have a signed certified bid summary form. Their base bid for this project is $2,071,300. 2,071,300.00. A motion to assign these to staff to review and report back.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll take a minute if contractors want to leave. This would be a good time. You're welcome to stay.
Thank you for your participation.
Okay, we're up to claim and allowance docket.
Minutes.
Oh,
No,
minute.
sorry. No, my bad. I'm out of order.
Oh,
Mr. President, move that we approve the claims and allowance docket in the amount of $5,011,060.39, consisting of 40 pages, printed on May the 13th, 2025 at 10:07 a.m.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Ms. Coons is absent. Key things to note that we have continuing professional services related to the fire station 6 relocation to DLZ for $105,151,500. We have our board and waste away for the May trash services for $199,335.21. The payment to the Elkhart County Treasurer in the amount of $279,659.40 is related to the County Road 6 joint interlocal repaving project that we are doing. And the total American Rescue Plan claims are $19,041.21.
Any questions for Jamie? Any more insights, Jamie?
I think that's
Out.
pretty similar.
We still have a lot of the American Rescue Plan money.
Yes. So we will continue to, I don't know what the current balance is off the top of my head, but we are still paying down on the projects that we've obligated for. And it's really, the bulk of it is the current Benham project that's going under the underpass.
Oh, okay.
That's the predominant large remaining portion.
Amid all the other hysteria, did we get that money given to us already? Do we have to go and ask?
No, that was all an advanced grant, yeah.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yep.
All those in favor of approving claim allowance docket totaling $5,011,060.39 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes. Have a motion to approve the minutes from the April 15th meeting.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any changes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we authorize the board president to execute the professional services agreement with Surveying and Mapping LLC for the Prairie Street Cemetery Expansion Project with fees not to exceed $37,800.
Second.
Motion and a second. Morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Jeff Schaefer, Assistant City Engineer. I'm going to briefly introduce this, and then the cemetery manager is here to give you a little bit of background on the project. We did review two proposals on this and found that the proposal from SAM, who, though they're a nationwide company, has an office based here in town, just better fit the city's needs. And Mr. Choate's going to explain to you a little bit about the project.
Please state your name and make sure you sign in as well.
I have done that. Good
All right.
morning.
Great, thank you.
Charlie Schote with the Cemetery Department. We came to you last year regarding this project for approval of master plan. And you graciously approved that. Our situation at the cemeteries, and cemeteries being Rice Cemetery, Prairie Street Cemetery, and Gracelawn Cemetery, as we're running out of room. Rice Cemetery is 100% pre-sold. Gracelawn Cemetery, as you would imagine, is also at that point, and Prairie Street Cemetery is at 95% sold. And that doesn't mean buried, but plots already sold. So we're needing an expansion, and we own 10 acres of ground that is contiguous to Prairie Street Cemetery, 5 acres on the east side of Prairie Street Cemetery, as well as 5 acres on the south. The company that we hired last year to come up with a master plan has done that. And this funding is for the company that is going to basically take the project from this point through the bid process. We will, in close consultation with the mayor, decide how we want to proceed, as well as how much money we would like to spend based on council and your approval. So that's kind of where we're at. The master plan, by developing the additional ground that we own at Prairie Street Cemetery, will give us another 14,000 interment spots, be it cremation and full burials. And that should take the city further ahead for another 35 years.
The funding for this, I mean, thank you for coming and thanks for doing this
most
work.
welcome.
It's sometimes thankless, I'm sure. You had money in your budget to pay for the design?
That is correct.
Good enough. Other questions?
Yeah, I have one. Charlie, the farmland, which is contiguous with the expansion that goes all the way to Mishawaka Road,
Yes,
that's a big parcel.
that is a big parcel, and
Be acquired?
we have tried over the last, I would say, 20 years to acquire it at a reasonable price. And, you know, that's always an option in the future. As I said, right now with developing the land that we already have, that we own, that's going to move us forward for about 35 years. Then hopefully, the farm ground that Andy, you're speaking of, would become available at a reasonable price to us at some point in time.
Other questions? Did you have a follow-up, Andy?
Oh, no, I was just wondering whether it couldn't be, purchased and then allowed the farmer to continue to farm it,
That's been discussed with
till
him.
then. I mean,
That's been discussed.
thanks.
Yep.
No, that was the same question that I was going to ask.
All right. All those in favor of approving this professional service agreement, cost not to exceed $37,800 with Survey and Mapping LLC, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Charlie. Mr. President, I move that we approve change order number 2 and final for State Road 19 Access Management Phase 1, decreasing the contract value by $18,652 even, resulting in a contract price of $278,488.
Motion and a second.
Board, just an adjustment to final quantities. As stated, this is actually a slight deduction in the contract price.
This why the bridge going over the toll road is 2 lanes?
No, that's a separate project that's being managed by the Redevelopment Commission. This project was the new median in Cassopolis Street between County Road 6 and Emerson Drive.
How long is the other one going to go on?
My last communication is they have another couple weeks. I believe their completion date is either June 23rd or June 13th. I forget what the contract completion date is.
I mean, I know to avoid that area. Is there a reason why this has gone on so long? Has this been behind schedule?
No, I think they're still under their same contract completion date, but I'd have to find out from redevelopment staff.
Okay, thank you. Other questions for Jeff? All right, all those in favor of approving change order number 2 and final for the State Road 19 Access Management Plan, bringing the final contract total to $278,488, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the license, general lease, and indemnification agreement with Holiday Properties to discharge stormwater runoff into the city's storm sewer on Parkway Avenue.
Motion and a second. Morning, Joe.
Good morning, Board. Joe Foy, Stormwater Manager for the City of Elkhart. This is a general indemnification agreement that we enter into on those rare occasions where we allow a connection to our storm sewer. And in this instance, they are asking for a high point overflow connection for one of their drainage structures, a retention pond on the property to an existing storm that goes to another retention area in the developmental area.
And we're not concerned about overloading the second one, or does it have a high point to a ditch?
Yes, it also has, the secondary one has a high point to Pine Creek. If it would become over capacity, it's not anywhere near the capacity that it was designed for.
And what about stormwater treatment?
Yes, so if you would look on the last page of this, you'll see the structure that the water is going to flow through before it comes out. Not only is it settling in the retention basin, but then this high point overflow structure has a sump that will catch any solids that might make it that far, and it has a snout structure on it which will catch any floatables. So this will have to be maintained by the property owners as well, and that's the structure that we're using to ensure that they have as clean as possible stormwater coming out.
So in your Exhibit B, is that storm sewer pipe outflow or inflow?
It is outflow.
Okay.
It is going from structure 301 to structure 300. The elevations you see are the rim elevations. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's what they put on there. I would have.
And that isn't going into a pond directly, it's going into another storm sewer?
Correct. That storm sewer goes to the north and then into another retention area on the northeast part of the developmental area out there.
And Evan Marsh did calculations to make sure that the stormwater pipe wouldn't be overloaded?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry to be an engineer.
Nope.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm going to be the lay person. I guess, Joe, you mentioned that this is a rare circumstance in which we're allowing for this to happen. When are they, I guess, when is it appropriate that we allow these types of things, and when isn't it? And do we have a standard kind of format or in how we reach the decision on if this is
Sure.
a yes or no? Are you tracking with me?
There are a couple of things that we take into consideration. First and foremost is, do we have anything in the area that they can connect to? Second is there a need there for them to connect to it, and what is that need? Sometimes the need is they can't hold anything on their property and they're going to release everything. And in that instance, we have them go through a more sophisticated structure to ensure that they're capturing everything before that water comes out as clean as possible. And in some instances, we have like this one, where it's the contractor or the designer, and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a level of what do I want to say?
Safety.
And just it's putting them at it's a level of ease that it puts them at, in knowing that their facility isn't going to be flooded out.
Okay.
And in this instance, they've already met our 3-inch requirement, so they're holding all of that. This would only be in instances where it would exceed that 3-inch.
And in general, Jamie, the developer, the owner needs to, in this case especially, has obviously made a commitment to retaining his water. It's not just, hey, I make more money if I don't have to put in a retention.
Yes.
This is just a backstop to the retaining pond, not where we get an event that creates an overflow
Yes.
for the retaining pond to better control that overflow.
And we look at things like this, and in this instance where that retention basin is, if it would begin to overflow, it would overflow out into the streets, coming into the same
Yeah, it's going to end up there
standard,
anyways.
storm sewer system, and we would prefer to have a controlled release than one that is just coming overland to us.
Perfect. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Other questions? Other questions? Sorry. All right, seeing none. All those in favor of approving the wait for it. License, general release, an indemnification agreement with Holiday Properties, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the license, general release, and indemnification agreement with Elkhart and Western Railroad Company, LLC, to allow access across city property to the Elkhart River.
Motion and a second.
This is a standard agreement. Legal has asked us to do it through an indemnification with the entity, allowing them access across part of our property to the Elkhart River to remove a log jam that tends to form upstream of their bridge. They have done this numerous times over the years, most recently just a year and a half ago. And lo and behold, the waters have been plentiful with trees and are already blocking the same area. This indemnification is a little bit different than ones of the past in that we would like to have a window of 2 years to allow them so that if such things happen again in the future, they can move a little more quickly. And so they have a legal team, we have a legal team that has to go through the document each time we do this. So both sides have done that, and both sides are comfortable with what we have. We also request or require of them to give us 2 weeks' notice so that they're not just appearing on our property without us knowing what's going on to remove said trees. And all of this is at their cost.
I would say I'm pretty excited because normally it's like a 15-year process to get those cleaned off.
Yes.
This is just I see Mike Leitner's agreeing with me back there, I believe, so this is pretty
yeah.
responsive.
The railroad has a team now that seems to be a little more dedicated, I will say, to clearing these. And actually, this has taken just a little bit longer in the process between our two teams. And they have a contractor standing by ready to get what's there out of the water as soon as they can. And again, in this indemnification, we also put all additional permits and anything of that nature for the work that they need to do, because it depends on what they do, what permits they will need. All of that is on them.
Great. Other questions?
Joe, sorry, Andy. If they're blocking the pathways or having logs stacked, are they required to barricade those or post any kind of notice that the pathway is, inaccessible for?
So when they bring the debris out, they typically leave it on the river bank area, so they are not like laying it up in our park area. It's the park area is to get access to the river. Mm-hmm. They pull it out. They do not block that path, and I can let them know that path shouldn't be blocked because they have plenty of working area to not do that.
Joe, this is the section of the Elkhart just past Yorkwood, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks. There's one set of tracks over that trestle, right? Just one?
Yes.
Okay. It's hard to tell in this picture. It looks almost like there could be two, but.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's just one.
So Andy, don't walk on that trestle. Okay, it's hard to get out of the train's way unless you're really fast. Other questions or insights? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving this agreement with Elkhart Western Railroad Company signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. This motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we approve change order number 2 and final for quote number 23-19, Jackson and Johnson traffic signal. And, Mr. President, I move that we remove change order number 2 and final bid 2319, Jackson and Johnson traffic signal and water extension from the table.
Second.
Motion and a second to remove from the table. All those in favor of removing this item from the table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we approve change order number 2 and final for quote number 23-19, Jackson and Johnson traffic signal and water extension. decreasing the total contract price by $10,173.70, resulting in a final contract price of $791,859.85.
Motion and a second. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Board, and again, apologize for the little bit of confusion last week. That was my fault, or the last meeting. I'm even confused by what confusion was. But this is an adjustment to final quantities. This project was completed a number of months ago. We were simply waiting on the final as-built drawings from the contractor before we release retainage. And so this is the final to adjust quantities, and then we will do the final pay application.
Questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving change order 2 and final for the Jackson and Johnson traffic signal and water project, bid number 2319, bringing the final contract price to $791,859.85, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the specifications and grant permission to request quotes for quote number 25-12, the Beardsley to Greenleaf Storm Sewer Connection Project.
Motion and a second.
I'm sitting in for Mr. Lucas today. And basically, this is a small drainage project that we'd like to look at Greenleaf and Beardsley and Dearborn, that intersection. There is a inlet on the north side of Beardsley, which currently feeds into kind of a small swale at Beardsley and Dearborn, and that swale just has not operated very well over time. What we'd like to do is reconnect that inlet, which will also then connect the swale to the storm sewer that's on the south side of Beardsley and then follows down Greenleaf. So this is just a small connection to clean up a drainage issue that we see often on Dearborn, just north of Beardsley.
Storm only line?
Yes, storm only line.
Other questions?
So Jeff, as I'm looking at the diagram or the picture, the image that you shared, are we connecting that 4-inch 80 HDPE on Dearborn into the I guess the inlet on Beardsley? Is that what's happening? That green line?
Yep, that's
Okay.
correct. So the little stormwater depression will still stay there, but now, similar to what we just talked about, we'll have an overflow so that when it gets high enough, the water can then enter into the storm sewer that goes down Greenleaf.
Great, sounds great. Thank you.
All those in favor of granting permission to quote this project signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we accept and place on file the Water Utility Monthly Report of Operations for the month of April 2025.
Motion and a second. No exciting things to report. Okay. All right. All those in favor of accepting, placing on file this water report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we extend JBS Prepared Foods to complete the modification of the current gates to enable pretreatment staff to drive up, badge in and out without walking into the security building from May 1, 2025 to June 15th, 2025.
Motion and a second. You said, you read this, so we're extending the completion thing?
Yes, sir. Glasses are for reading, not looking at you.
We're extending the administrative order deadline. Is that?
Yes, JBS is, well, first of all, this is Steve Brown, Public Works Utilities. JBS is requesting an extension to finalize their final milestone, and that milestone is the giving pretreatment access without having to go through security to badge in and out. I believe the contractor that they hired had some delays, and it's just a 45-day extension request.
Are all of the other elements of their consent order, have they all been met?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So it's just and this will then give the pretreatment staff can go in unannounced.
That's correct. Yep. Without delays or restrictions. So
Have they, we haven't heard anything about that grease issue in a while. Has that been taken care of?
it seems to have, things are good.
Downstream is good?
Downstream is good. No hiccups. The communication between JBS and pretreatment is going real smooth and well. So, yeah, I see no reason to delay this extension request.
Hey,
There are representatives here. I don't know if they want to speak, but
Good morning, Board. I am Brent Stevens, the plant manager for the JBS Elkhart. Just wanted to elaborate. So we contracted 4T Door here in Elkhart to do our gate project for us. We were actually ahead of our project deadline to finish the gate by May 1st. 4T let us know on April 22nd they were sourcing materials from Bulgaria that ended up getting delayed due to tariffs and other things going on with the world's economy. They projected a 3-week delay, so we were asking for 45 days just as a buffer so we wouldn't have to re-extend. We're actually looking to finish the week of May 26th. So the first phase of the work's been completed already, the concrete work and the new barrier. We're just waiting on the actual electronics and the gate arms themselves.
Sense? Other questions? Thank you very much. Chilly last night, guys? All righty. Okay. I mean, and you're obviously supporting this strongly.
yes, sir.
Okay. All those in favor of extending the JBS Prepared Foods agreement from May 1st to June 15th of this year signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we issue Elkhart Brass its 5-year non-significant categorical industrial user permit number 2025-01.
Motion and a second. Same old, same old.
Yeah, this one's a little bit different. This is our first non-significant categorical industrial user. It just simply means that this facility has a categorical process that EPA regulates, but they don't discharge over 100 gallons. In this case, they don't discharge any of that processed water to the city. The decision was made to go ahead and permit them, so this facility stays on our radar. We'll go out and conduct inspections and also monitor to confirm that they're not causing an issue.
This is the first one you're doing, and this is probably the process you'll follow in the future.
Yes,
For the similar?
if we find any other industries that have a categorical process, this will likely be the case.
All those in favor of approving this 5-year non-significant categorical industrial unit permit for Elkhart Brass signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we issue Valmont Industries its 5-year non-significant categorical industrial user permit number 2025-02.
Motion and a second. Same thing.
Pretty much the same thing, yeah, just a different process. Elkhart Brass, they're subject to metal molding process, and Valmont is subject to aluminum forming. But it's the same. They don't discharge it of their processed waters to the city, their categorical processed waters. So,
Righty. All those in favor of the 5-year non-significant categorical industrial user permit for Valmont Industries signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we issue Elkhart Environmental Processing its 5-year industrial wastewater discharge permit and renew permit number 2002-02.
Motion and a second. Same thing?
no, this is a significant industrial user, but it's just a renewal. It's a 5-year standard permit renewal.
And these were the guys that slammed us a couple weeks ago?
That's correct. Although they've had some challenges, they still remain great corporate citizens. They're easy to work with. I see no reason to withhold this permit renewal.
All those in favor of approving the IWDP with Elkhart Environmental Processing signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we ratify 8 water assessments, 2 sewer assessments, 2 driveway permits, 1 release of bond, and 1 revocable permit.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Central Green Wi-Fi upgrades contract and allow James Gerald, IT Director, to sign the contract.
Motion and a second. Morning, James.
Morning. James Gerald, IT Director for the city.
What are we doing?
All right, so we have some existing equipment that's end of life out there right now, so we're looking to replace that with something modern and secure, as well as expand the capabilities. So it'll cover more of that green space for our users and our vendors at these various events.
I assume it's also increasing the speed and capacity at the same time.
That's the hope, yes. Yeah, right now it's pretty slow.
Ready? Other questions? And all of this was in your budget?
Yes, it's already been accounted for.
Questions? Answers? Good enough. All those in favor of approving Central Green Wi-Fi upgrades and allowing James Gerald to sign the contract signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right. Mr. President, I move that we approve the new website contract between the City of Elkhart and GovStack for an initial startup cost of $32,385.60.
Motion and a second. For you or for Alex?
Alex is out of town, so I'm standing in for him today.
Okay.
I was involved in the assessment of the 3 different providers. Our website is in decline, and we're looking to replace that with something modern, better accessibility, better features to enhance usability. So we looked through 3 different providers, and GovStack offered the best compromise with feature set and price, and overall we felt that was the best partner to go with.
So this is just for the design, not for the work?
Design and implementation, yes. It'll be a brand new website to replace the existing one we currently have through Vala, as well as an intranet, so that we can better manage a lot of our internal documentation as well.
And the software is included in this price?
Yes, it's all cloud hosted, so they'll use templates and everything that they have to help build it, train our staff on how to be self-sufficient, and then they're also there for any professional services that we need.
Okay, great. Other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the agreement for the new website contract with GovStack signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the following use and events permits.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Want to make sure I had it all straight. Go for it.
Correct. All right, Mr.
Oh,
President.
hang on. Nancy, note for the record that Andy has to leave at this time. We'll be down to 4 members.
Thanks, Andy.
Now,
So I move that we approve the following use and event permits: Anderson Birthday Party on July the 5th, Elkhart Public Library Summer Reading Program, July 17th, Juneteenth Black Expo at the Elkhart Public Library, June 19th, the Williams Family Gathering on May the 25th, Allen Birthday Party, June 14th, Thor Industries Elkhart River Walk Grand Prix Go-Kart Race, 5K Walk, and Fireworks on, I don't see the date, Nancy. Okay, so it'll be approved, I guess, based on for August 1st and 2nd. Park Foundation Fun Day on June the 7th. Juneteenth celebration at Roosevelt Park, June 19th. Heart City Disc Golf League celebration, June 10th. Learner on the Lawn, June 28th, August 10th, and August 23rd. And the White Family Block Party, June 14th. And the Tolson Summer Kickoff on June 1st. Thank you, Nancy.
in a second. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Mr. President, I move, I guess we want to move.
Let's
You
move
want
to
to
pass
say,
it.
okay.
'Cause
Mr. Okay.
Action should be taken in the positive, so
Okay.
move to pass it.
Okay, Mr. President, I move that we approve the Elkhart Auto Fest Main Street cruising on June 13th.
Okay, we've
Second.
had the Events Committee has advised us that they suggest a do not pass. Is there a member of the committee here that could speak for us? Hey, stranger.
Hi, Christy Summer, Assistant Chief, Elkhart Fire. So this permit came in front of the event committee last week, and we did recommend a do not pass. Last year, they did not get a permit for this event, and it was a mess downtown. I believe Rose was sent pictures of Main Street last year of the peel outs that happened. There was a learner event at the same time. It was very loud. Our concerns are keeping the citizens of Elkhart safe during this event. We also have Rhapsody Arts and Greens Festival the same day. And the learner also has a concert that night. And the way the learner now enters their patrons is off of Main Street. So our concerns for this permit is safety. We did ask for an additional, ask them if they could move it to another date, and they could not.
You had mentioned Rhapsody. As I understand, the challenge is we don't have enough people to man all of these events at the same time, especially when one apparently needs extra enforcement.
Yes. And also the other thing I did bring up to Nancy today was if this permit was approved, if they needed a certificate of liability.
Yeah, I would say we would need that. As required of all permits in general.
Okay, is there a representative that wishes to speak on this before the board starts questioning things?
When George met with the event committee last Tuesday, he said he would be here this morning, but I haven't seen him. He knew he knew it was going to be at 9,
Okay,
start at 9, and I told him 9:30 at the latest,
okay, good enough.
but he's not here today.
So, I mean, the board can give their views. A, I like to do whatever Christie tells me to do. But B, I think in general, everybody should know that you don't control your events. The city's really forced to deny these because of our own liability involved. There are, it is a, this was all my opinion, I didn't even prepare a speech yet, but it is a public area, but in the summer, we have a lot of people and a lot of events that need to share space, and thought how these things are handled. And learner aside, all of our downtown businesses, we need to keep them in mind when we're issuing these permits that have the potential to significantly affect an event for our citizens. Any other thoughts before we vote?
I guess my concern would be, are we prepared for the event to occur outside of the guardrails of having an approved permit, similar to how it occurred last year? And are we going to have appropriate availability for safety to be maintained and an unpermitted event to be
So
shut
spot
down?
ready?
If necessary. Hopefully that's not the case, but I presume
Some
that.
things were last year that they were done wrong with the city, like this gentleman that did the permit this year, George Smith, he went to the traffic department and had the lights switched. And they were switched. There was some miscommunication between our committee and the street department, or the traffic department. And we have rectified that situation, and that will not happen again.
So it wasn't a failure of an attempt for the event to run through the right steps.
Right.
They thought that they were attempting to do that.
Right.
And so that helps give me some added comfort.
So the stoplights will not switch. If the permit is not approved, they'll stay changing green, yellow, and red. So last year they were switched to yellow, so flashing yellow, and then the side streets were flashing red. So,
As far as people driving on the street, we really can't control that. However, you're going to have some traffic enforcement if they start doing other stuff than calmly, quietly
yeah,
driving.
there'll be the normal, police officers on the street that day, so.
So then, to be clear, the no vote is to follow the Christie's group's recommendation, and a yes vote is to go against that recommendation. Their recommendation is to deny because of the problems that have been occurring and the conflicts with personnel, quantity of personnel, as well as other conflicting events. Having said that, all those in favor of the AutoFest permit signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Aye.
Aye.
Motion fails, or the permit is denied.
Thank you. The only other thing I would like to say, so it's on record, is that if you are planning an event in the city of Elkhart, come get your date, like put your permit together, get the date before you plan the whole event, just so that we make sure.
What I just heard you say, let me just paraphrase, is that there's a chance that you could have coordinated, first of all, if it wouldn't work, but then the other people that come later have to defer to you instead of you deferring to them.
Yes.
Could you say I have a question about another thing when we're done?
Thank you.
So, public participation. Is there any public participation first in the room? Nobody's racing up. Okay. And online? Remember, it is nobody. All right. Then, Jamie?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion and a second, we're adjourned.
Mike, you got a stack?
I know, these events were confused, the stack I had over here had me confused, I didn't want to get.